RC Underground Radio is your go-to podcast for everything RC.
Do you guys realize how much it costs to be friends with this dude?
Whether you're a dedicated racer or just getting started in the hobby, this is your show. Each episode features top-notch guests, industry leaders, and you, the racer.
Yeah.
It's a community where listeners can learn, connect, and grow their passion for RC racing. So, grab your transmitter, buckle up, and join us on RC Underground Radio.
Say words.
Here are your hosts, Dave Brinkman and TJ Greer.
Welcome to another night of RC. No.
Well, when people will sit out a 5-hour rain delay, I think that's the proof for sure right there that everybody's here for each other.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I left everybody and I went to the bar.
So, yeah.
Surprise.
And they came back and slept in your car for a few hours. Dominic came over. Dad, I think Uncle Ryan's dead.
Yeah, I should have put a note on the car. I'm good. I'm not on meth. I'm just an old fat guy needing some sleep.
Who needs some
you know, the
Z's.
rain.
Got involved with people like Jason and all these guys.
Yeah, I hang out with some really bad people.
Yeah,
I hang out with some really bad people now.
What are you talking about?
I mean, it's Terry.
Do you guys realize how much it costs to be friends with this dude? He spends all my money.
Add to cart, baby.
Add to cart.
Yeah.
So we're both drinking Faygo, dude.
And also add the intro, because I'm going to use that line. There you go, buddy. There you go.
We got married at an RC event called Axial Fest.
Yeah, you ever heard of that?
Come on. All right, hold it now. Hold it. We usually go 35 minutes. We're going way over. I got to hear this story. This story.
Okay, well, Horizon Hobbies puts on this big event called Axial Fest. It's for axial crawlers. If you have an axial crawler, you can go to this event, but you have to have one. Well, they've been doing it in California for 10, 15 years?
Yeah, about 10 years.
So we went down in front of everybody on Friday night, got married at Axial Fest and at the big awards ceremony.
Yep.
Nobody knew except for like our friends that came down and our family came down.
Yep.
And they called. She went up there.
No, they called a random ticket number that was just his, and so he's like, Andy's like, you don't know what kind of prize you're gonna get. And he's like, what did I win? And he's like, you won yourself a bride. And then they started playing music, and I walked down with my dad, and Addie, our oldest, she was throwing little axial symbols. I cut out a paper on my Cricut, and so she threw those down. And
our buddy drove a little Tamiya buggy. With the
rings. So,
on top of it.
Yep, he was a ring bearer. So we drove the rings down, and we got married in front of like 500 people that we really didn't know, and pouring our love for each other.
So if you ever look up on YouTube Axial Fest Wedding, it's ours.
That's ours.
It's what I love to do.
Nice.
He's good at it.
Yeah. I think it's just because you're so uncomfortable yourself. It just rubs off on you.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah, and like, I have a really good awkwardness to me, and I just like to make people more awkward. See, I'm kind of doing it right now. Like, see, everyone was just like, what just happened? It's just a part of my sense of humor, and I have a pretty sad job at sometimes. So for me, whenever I can make somebody smile or happy, it's a good day for me. So,
well, you do a good job with it. I've literally been sitting here in my studio watching, and I started laughing.
God.
My wife's like, "What are you watching?" I'm like, "This dude is just awful."
You're probably questioning having me come on. You're probably like, I really want this. After last week, I did part of the segment shirtless. You're probably like, we can't have this guy on here.
It's okay. This is an open forum, man. This is all about the hobby. If that's part of the hobby, we're going to see it, I guess. We're going to talk about it. What are we going to do?
I really didn't foresee, RC drag racing being a shirts versus skins sport, Travis, but apparently you got this. You know something I don't.
It's dominant out there, If a guy's willing to take his shirt off in 100-degree weather to race a toy car, he means business. He's not out there.
That's right.
He's not playing games.
That's right. It's one way to psych out the competition.
It's like a guy right before he gets in a fight. If he's taking his shirt off and his glasses you don't mess with that guy because that guy's crazy.
So let's go there. What is up with that? Why always when you see these fight videos, they're taking their shirts off? Are they afraid it's going to turn into a hockey fight and somebody's going to pull their shirt over their head? Like, what is that?
I think it's basically a amateur penis measuring contest. You got to see who's more buff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ripping it off, and if this guy sees me without my shirt and he's bigger than me, I'm running. So, you may say you don't want them to be able to grab a hold of your shirt and pull on it, but at the end of the day, like, you just want to show off that chest. You've been doing a lot of bench pressing and lat pull downs.
Travis, I am going to call you on this BS right now and say that you're not doing any of this, man.
If you can spell lat pull down.
I have not seen a gym inside of a bucket.
Okay?
Lat pull downs. You pulled that out of your butt.
I don't think there's a gym inside of a Buc-ee's. That's the only way you would go to a gym if it was inside of a Buc-ee's, I think.
I'm surprised there isn't a gym inside of Buc-ee's, though.
They have everything else.
It's probably in the employee lounge.
Folks, are you looking to gain a 10th on the racetrack or maybe get a few ladies like Taylor Swift in your pit stall? Well, I'm sorry to say that Carpies can't work miracles in those departments. But here's the good news. The folks at Carpies can definitely help you become the ultimate toy car nerd just like me. How, you ask? Well, with their custom wraps and killer collection of official RC branded merch. So while they can't promise to shave a 10th off your lap time, they can save you 10% on your next order with promo code RCU10 upon checkout at carpies.com, CARPYS.com. Wrapping winners since 2013.
Papa Willie's Traction Tonic has been curing poor traction since 2016. The name says it all. If you're not popping wheelies, it's not Papa Willie's. Papa Willie's has become known across the United States on dirt oval to off-road, asphalt to concrete, carpet to hardwood, and so many other surfaces. Papa Willie's continues adding to their lineup with tonics for cold and hot weather, loose dirt to high traction, dry dirt, wet dirt, clay and abrasive surfaces, along with anti-drag bearing oil, tire cleaner, tire glue, pit accessories, and swag. You can find the complete Papa Willie's catalog at www.papawillies.net. Prepare for victory with Papa Willie's Traction Tonic.
Be sure to use promo code RCUR for 10% off your next purchase at Papa Willie's.
That's how it started, and then it evolves like everything else. You take whatever your platform is, a Traxxas, an Associated, a Losi, and you convert it into a drag car. Well, then the manufacturers come in and, they'll make carbon fiber chassis, and you'll start having your little upgrades, and we all do it. We upgrade to this or to that because things break.
It wouldn't be RC racing if that didn't happen, right?
Exactly, right? Exactly, 100%.
It's the accessories. It's the accessories that makes it fun.
Yeah, you need all the accessories and then the hop-up parts, etc., right?
Right.
Yeah, that's, really how it started, and then it just kind of evolved from there, and I mean, now, today, it's like freaking NHRA per se, man. You literally, if you want to compete and do well at national levels, it's like any aspect of RCs. You really have to put in the time, the work, the maintenance. I mean, any form of racing, right? A lot of the work is done at home and on the bench per se, or in the
100%.
garage.
100%.
You know what I mean?
That's where the racing is won, right? It's actually won prepping for the race. So, you talked about, so it's cool. We're kind of in the evolution of this whole thing. And now, we know Paul Peterson from Shark RC Bodies. Like now, specific bodies with focus on aerodynamics and all this stuff has come into this, right? And I don't know how many different body manufacturers there are building, purpose-focused bodies for RC drag racing. But man, I've seen some of them, and they're wicked looking. Like aero is really a thing.
It truly is, and so Protoform really came out like with some of the first bodies where they were like streetcar style or whatever, and I mean all of them are based off of some kind of streetcar, so they had a couple of cars, and then their C7 Corvette was like a game changer at first, just the aero, everything you're talking about. And then like Shark Bodies started producing bodies, Racer RC, Dan and Andy Jacobson, so like Andy's just a legend in the hobbies as far as his paint work, etc. And they have their bodies out. Gosh, man, like you said, there's so many. I think R1's producing bodies now. I guarantee I'm missing one or two. Apologies, but there's so many, and it is all about that. It's aerodynamics. Everybody's trying to go so fast. I mean, if you're not, cars are doing 100 on the regular now. It's crazy. Yeah,
just crazy.
And 132 feet.
Yeah. Now you were talking about guys that are doing paint. I kind of think too in the drag racing world is like, not that wraps are taboo, but I'm assuming it's because of the weight that most people seem to, one, they gravitate to the paint because of weight, I think. And then two, that's just really drag racing, right? Like it's the wild paint jobs. It's the guys that know how to do airbrushing and all that. So is weight kind of a factor?
Absolutely. I mean, when it first started, who cared? You know what I mean? And everybody was like on a 2-pole motor, and then people started messing with the 4-pole motors and figured out, hey, a 4-pole, yeah, it's a little bigger, there's a little more weight, but you can gear it differently, and it's got so much torque, etc. But not getting too far off topic. Yeah, absolutely. Weight is a concern and should be a concern. There's conditions and times when you want something super lightweight, and then there's the times when you want it a little heavier, to hook up and go down these roads. I mean,
okay, so talk about that a little bit. What would be the differentiating factor? And if you're doing the street racing version and you get there and the car's slipping out, you're not getting it, is there a way to change and go to a different setup? Are you allowed to do that? Like if you show up with a 2-pole or you show up with a 4-pole, can you switch during the day, or are there different divisions based on the motors?
No divisions based on the motors. Well, let me correct myself real quick. There never was a motor specific class. Okay. For quite some time. It was outlaw racing, outlaw class, modified, right?
It sorts itself out, right? It just sorts itself out because there's fast cars and slower cars, and going into the next rounds, those cars are gonna equalize themselves out. Is that kind of how that goes?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they will. There's always going to be somebody better, faster, bigger, stronger, whatever you want to say, right? Sure. But yeah, I mean, throughout the day, like any form of racing, the faster guys will rise to the top, no matter what it is that they're doing. Now, when it was like all, I'll say open motor for just a lack of words, right? That's just how it was. And then obviously, like any other form of RC or racing, there was changes needed to keep it alive and keep it going and get young people or new people involved, and then they had like stock classes and or VXL system classes. So they started putting limits in and try to keep the interest up, and it's worked, but ultimately, the outlaw racing is like the top, and it is the main focus for a lot of people. As of late, not so much, because conditions, like you had asked me, how do you make a car hook up on certain conditions? When does weight play a factor? For me, my opinion, if you got a surface that's a street, everybody shows up to this street, like, they put it out on the Facebooks, etc., and you got a race over here. If everybody will get out and blow the road off or whatever, right? You have to. I mean, people will say, oh, it's supposed to be, no prep racing and blah blah blah, and it's like, well, you know what? We got slicks, and I'm sorry, they're not going to hook up on a gravel road. They're just not. So, you prep the surface a little bit, I guess, for these real hardcore people that want to say it's no prep and blah, blah, blah. Well, good on them. But yeah, we'll clean the streets up, and maybe that day you wanted a little more weight. I mean, there was times I couldn't get enough brass weight on the car, years ago.
Sure.
And now it's like I'm barely over the minimum weight rules, and yes, you adjust everything. It's no different than any other form of RC racing. I mean, we'll mess with ride heights and shock oils and springs and wheelie bar heights, and everything really does come into play. Fall back to my comment about when I first seen it, what's so hard about making a car go straight?
Right.
Well, I mean, if you want to, yeah, you can make a car go straight, but if you want to go straight really fast and at a level where you're competing for the prize money that day, there's a lot to it.
So guys, great conversation. So glad you guys joined us, but we do a thing with our guests called Quick Time. This is TJ is going to take it over. So TJ, what time is it?
Quick time. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I've got a series of questions. We're going to put a timer somewhere on the screen, and Derek, you're going to have to answer these. It'll be, there. So I'm going to give you a 3, 2, 1. We're going to go. Time starts when I start the first question, all right?
All right.
All right, here we go. 1, favorite RC tool?
I don't know any.
Favorite trackside snack?
Tacos?
Favorite local track?
I guess it would have to be Phoenix RC.
Favorite out-of-town track?
Norcar.
RC ick?
Of course.
Something.
I think that's what girls say.
White wheels or yellow wheels?
Black wheels.
Sprint or late model?
Sprint.
SC mod or B mod?
S.
Midget or non-wing?
Midget.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
High bite or loose dirt?
High bite.
Blondes or brunettes?
Blondes with purple highlights.
Woo. Nasty. Pepsi or Coke? Max rear steer or left rear only?
Yep.
Clean car or wait till it breaks?
I'll give it to my dad.
Trackside food or DoorDash?
Trackside.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Deep dish or thin crust?
Thin crust, of course.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nice. Great job.
The last time when y'all barged in on my podcast? Yeah, y'all made them popular. Apparently on their blooper reel, y'all were like the best. And I was only requested to get back on here because of you too. So, yeah. So what they want you to do, you see this piece of paper?
Oh no.
Allie, you are going to say this, and Colby, you are going to say this.
I don't want to.
No, you have to.
Hello?
Hey, buddy. So you and your sister were like big stars on this last year. Everybody loved you.
So I gotta give our audience what they want. They want the superstars.
They want
you. So Allie's gonna say the first part, and then you just have to. It's called taking us out, right? Taking us out, and then you're gonna be all over the internet. It'll be awesome. You can tell all your friends that you're on the internet. Are you cool with that? Will you do that for us?
I'll see.
Awesome.
All right. Give it back to Allie. Let's do the first part.
Are we done?
Look, you have this one line. I have 2 sentences. Look, all you're gonna say is good night, everybody.
This is already the new part for the blooper reel. But they didn't want to do it. That's going to make the blooper reel.
1 minute montage of them trying to read something off of a piece of paper.
Exactly.
I'll show y'all when it is because they're wanting you to do y'all. They're wanting y'all to do the outro. All right.
You know, you're a big star, Aiden, but we see there's a couple other stars in the house. And I love it that your brother, again, a year and a half later, still isn't wearing a shirt. And that's awesome.
Yeah, that's right. You weren't wearing a shirt last time.
That's right. Yeah. It's kind of like an episode of Cops, but not really. But so we got our special guests. More people ask for them than anybody. So they're going to help us out, and they're going to take us out of the show. There's no way I could do it as well as they could. So if you're ready.
Be sure to join us on Monday at 6 a.m. on RCU Radio. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. Good night.
Yay! All right.
Good job, y'all.
We said it wrong.
Huh?
Thank you for listening to the RC Underground Radio Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your fellow racers about the show. Tune in again next week for more RC content.